Can you tell us a bit more about your background?
Yep, sure. So I've grown up on the south coast of New South Wales. Went to the local public school here and moved up to Sydney in 2013 to study sport and exercise science at UTS, the University of Technology, Sydney. I got into sports science, working in sports science in the final year of my degree, where I got an internship at the Wests Tigers Rugby League Club through one of my tutors in the course.
Cool.
I did that for the 2016 season, and at the end of that season started an honours project with the Rugby Sevens, and I've been working at the Rugby Sevens ever since. And this is my third or fourth year with the Rugby Sevens now.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. And I think you obviously just mentioned, you started your career in rugby league with the Wests Tigers. You're saying off air that you really love your rugby league. What did that role involve early on in your career?
It was a pretty classic sort of sport and exercise science internship, really. Like it was a mix of data collection, analysis, strength and conditioning, speaking with coaches, generating reports, dashboards, sort of stuff like that, working with performance data, strength testing, training, GPS, heart rate. It was a good sort of mix of the different realms of sport and exercise science. So I got to try it all out, which was good. What started as the internship for the first half of the season progressed into a part-time job for the second half of the season because one of the staff members left. So that was pretty cool as well. But yeah, it was a good little mix.
Yeah, cool. And I think we were talking about different sports and sort of like where they're up to in their data analytics journey. I think in Australia we're pretty much scratching the surface, but as of a few years ago in the rugby league, was it mainly sort of like you get all the data and you're playing around with Excel and CSV files, or did they have anything sort of, I guess, more advanced or more tech savvy than that?
What I was exposed to was purely Excel and CSV based stuff. I wasn't even using any of the sort of BI tools that are really just as easy, if not easier, sometimes than Excel at the time, because I just didn't even know about it. There's very likely that a lot of the other teams were doing some more advanced stuff, but at least for me, and I was working mainly with reserve grade at the time. It was all Excel, CSV based stuff.
Yeah, cool. Well, look, I promise you we'll get a chance to talk about the more advanced stuff that you've been doing more recently later on in the interview. I was just going to say, obviously, with the PhD at the moment that you're doing in sports science at UTS, tell us about your area of research.
Yep. So my PhD was born out of longer term preparation for the Tokyo Olympics, or 2020 Olympics until recently, because they were expecting that to be the hottest ever modern Olympics, and the Australian Olympic Committee was having a big push for all the national sporting organisations to be really appropriately prepared for conditions like that. And my research kind of took the angle that there's heaps of evidence already available on endurance sports, individual sports, lab-based heat training methods, but there isn't a whole lot for team sports, or stuff that would be applicable for team sports or affordable for team sports when you've got 20 players that you're trying to prepare. So mine kind of took that angle, that is there any low-cost field-based protocols that can achieve a similar outcome? So that's it basically, without going into all the finer details.
No, I'm sure you could. Like, if you're spending sort of years on this, I'm sure you can talk about this for half an hour. But I guess in layman's terms, like the work that you're doing there, like, can you sort of tell us the rough split of how you spend your time? Like, I assume some of it is dealing with, whether it's coaches or people in the industry. Some of it would be the data side. What's involved, and roughly how much are you spending your time in the key sort of 2 or 3 areas?
So it's developed a bit in my time at the Sevens. So I started working with the men's Sevens for 2 seasons, and then I had 1 season with the women's Sevens, and now I'm back working with the men's Sevens. And my role was kind of changed over the times, but it kind of started as a bit of a 50-50 split between a traditional sports science and an S&C. With the women's Sevens that I was doing up until pretty well the whole 2019 was almost a pure sports science. I wouldn't say data science because I wouldn't consider my skill set at the level of a data science, but a sports science with a major focus in managing data for the last season. But just as of February, I've come back to the men's 7 side, and I've been doing a lot more coaching in the gym, on the field stuff as well as still maintaining a bit of the data work that I was doing in the past, which I enjoyed. So it's good to get back to doing a bit of both.
Yeah, nice. Like it seems like a pretty good mix. Like you're not sort of stuck behind a computer all day, but you're also still getting enough exposure that the data analysis side will definitely, like you'll definitely improve on that.
I suppose it's one of the benefits of working with the sevens is we don't have all the resources of like an AFL team would have, and we kind of have to be a bit more of a generalist.
Yeah. No, awesome. And the research and the work that you're doing at the moment with the PhD and the work with the sevens, do you think that would be applicable to other sports? And what are the couple of sports that come to mind straight away?
Definitely applicable for any team sport, like sort of field-based team sport that sometimes has to perform in really hot and humid conditions. So the ones that immediately come to mind would be cricket, rugby league, rugby union, AFL, soccer, hockey.
Yeah,
that's sort of the big ones that I think of.
When you said cricket, this is a ridiculous example to bring up, but I play park cricket on the weekends, and we played cricket on the Saturday where it was like 45 degrees a couple of months ago. Definitely could have used a bit of assistance that day, and I was hungover as well, so that didn't help.
Doesn't help either. Yeah, I mean, some nations, like I'd imagine the subcontinent nations, are probably pretty well prepared for that year round because that's just what they live in. But places like England, particularly, I'm sure there's a lot more space for them to improve.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to check out more of our content, go to sporttechdaily.com or follow us on social media across Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram.